I hope you got your suntan lotion and your sunglasses because we're away on a European adventure. It is Euro 2028. We're in charge of Portugal. We're leaving Villarreal to one side for the moment as we concentrate on our international endeavours here. How many episodes will we have? Well, we'll just have to find out. Who knows how far we're going to get? But yeah, welcome to Euro 2028. Yes, hello, welcome into Living Sports here for another episode of Glory Hunter on Football Manager 22. Here we are with Portugal at Euro 2028. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And if you missed the last episode of Glory Hunter, go and check it out. It was the last episode of the domestic season with Villarreal. Did we win La Liga? You'll have to find out by going and checking out the last episode. We're here with Portugal. As you can see, the sunglasses are on and they're just about to come off because I cannot see a thing. That's better. Here we are, yes, with Portugal for Euro 2028. And I don't actually think I've shown you Portugal yet. So let me show you the team we have at this stage in 2028. But before I do that, I'll let you know we are obviously here at Euro 2028. Top two go through in the group. 4 best third places. Basically, we're going through. Our group is ourselves, Spain, Wales and Romania. Yeah, it's a fairly easy group. Ourselves and Spain, you imagine, will be the top 2, and who knows who will be the rest of them. If you look at all the groups, you can see Norway, Ireland, Slovenia, Italy, Germany, Ukraine, Holland, Russia, Croatia, Belgium, Poland, Austria, Slovakia, England, Czech Republic, Serbia, France, Switzerland, Turkey, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and then Portugal, Romania, Spain, and Wales. So our opening game is up against Romania, then we have a game against Spain and a game against Wales. So I think what I'll do today is introduce you to the 23-man squad we have here for Portugal. I'm playing the same system as we do at Villarreal, so you know the system. So I'll just show you the players that we have in that system. Basically, I've got 2 that can play in each position and 3 goalkeepers. So I'll go through it that way for you. But we'll show you the team, play the game against Romania, and then the next episode will be the game against Spain and Wales. So here is the team. Diogo Costa is our goalkeeper at this moment in time, currently playing with Porto as he has for his whole career. You can see he's a fairly solid goalkeeper, 3 stars, nothing too fancy. His backups are Luis Maximiano, who is at Aston Villa at the moment, was at Granada at the start of the save, having been at Sporting, then goes to Newcastle here, so he had, and then was bought by Aston Villa, where he conceded 63 goals in 38 games last year, hence he's not my starter. And my third choice keeper is Andre Gomes, a 23-year-old. I think a lot of people thought he would take over as the first choice keeper. He's not quite developed as much as I think a lot of people thought he would do. He's just been sold by Benfica to go to Leverkusen. 20 appearances, conceded 31 when he was there. Not brilliant, but very solid goalkeeping options we have. So we've got 8 defenders here in the squad. Kind of 2 to play right back, 2 to play left back, 4 centre backs, but most of the full-backs can play both sides. Our first choice right back is going to be Diogo Dalot. We know how good he is. We signed him when we were at Roma. He did very well when we were still the manager there for those 2 years, wasn't he? He became the kind of first choice right back for us after we signed him for £12 million from Man United. He's continued to do well since we left. Very, very solid right back. His backup is Thierry Rendell Correa here. Starts the game at Valencia. He then went to PSG, went to Barcelona, and is now at Juventus, where he seems to have found his place as a starter. Again, nice physical stats, very solid defensively, a very, very adequate backup to Dalot for when we need him. In the left back position, we've got Nuno Mendes at PSG. He's pretty good, isn't he? He's very, very good. He's been at PSG for a while now, having moved from Sporting. Very, very successful player, very, very good player. Good physicals, good is a word I use. Really, he's great. In fact, he's probably a world-class left back, one of the best left backs you imagine in the game at this stage. Very, very good going forwards and backwards. Already 65 caps at 25 years of age. You imagine he's going to get 150, don't you? And his backup in the left back position, though technically he's a right back, but we've brought João Cancelo. He's probably not the best option, but the fact he could play both sides was fairly useful for me. His experience is useful as well. He's got 74 caps. Currently at Crystal Palace, having been at Manchester City since he was signed from Juventus. He was playing a lot for Man City, then went on loan to Crystal Palace and they bought him for £9 million. A very, very solid, Premier League quality. Not amazing anymore, but very, very solid player. And he's our backup left back, but can also, play both sides. So very useful to have in the squad. At centre back, we have Ruben Diaz, 31 years of age, probably. This is maybe his last year. He'll be 35 by the time the next one comes round. So maybe he'll still be around for them. Maybe not quite at his peak, but mentally he's absolutely, is what I was going to say. He's absolutely outstanding, physically brilliant as well, and heading, marking, tackling, position. They're the big four stats for me for a defender, and he's pretty good at those as well. His passing's 13, so does well as a ball playing defender. Yeah, he's solid. 105 caps, and he is being partnered by Gonçalo Ignacio, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name. He is currently at Real Madrid. He starts the game at Sporting, but he's been at Real Madrid for 5 years now, something like that. Very, very solid performer for them. Again, kind of like Diaz, just probably not as good. Good physicals, good mentals, nice defensive stats as well. Left-footed, so plays on the left-hand side, and Diaz plays on the right-hand side of that centre-back partnership. The two backup centre-backs are João Palhinha here, joining Barcelona on a free from Juventus. He was at Sporting and then went to Man United in the game, and then Juventus, now going to Barcelona. Very, very solid. Ageing at 32, but a solid player to come in there if you need to. He can also play in defensive midfield if he needs to cover as well, central midfield too, but he will come in as a backup defender for us. And the other one is Thomas Zaraho here, currently at Wolfsburg, starts the game at Benfica, then Dortmund, Lazio. He's been around a lot of different places, but he's our third, fourth choice centre back. Solid enough if we need to rotate, but hopefully we don't need to change too much aside from our first two centre backs. Going into midfield, we obviously play defensive midfielder and two central midfielders, so we've got 6 players who can play in those positions here in the squad. Ruben Neves will be our first choice defensive midfielder. Not much needs to be said about him. Plays for Real Madrid. We've played against him a lot when we've been at Villarreal. There's not really a weakness in his game apart from long throws, which is not something you need to be good at when you're a defensive mid, is it? Solid player. His backup is Daniel Braganka here, Braganka. He currently plays at Everton, having been at Sporting and then going to Dortmund. Again, nice solid player. Basically, like a Ruben Neves, but slightly worse. That's how I see him, which is why he's the backup. Going further forward, we play Bernardo Silva in a central midfield role. He plays as that Mezzala for us, and I think he works very well in that position. He's currently at PSG, having moved there on a free after leaving Man City. Solid player, 136 caps. You imagine he'll be getting towards 150 by the time he retires. And partnering him is another older central midfield player. It's actually someone who we've just asked to come out of international retirement. Completely forgot that Bruno Fernandez was a person for the first 6 months of being in charge of Portugal. And then said, wait a minute, how you come out of retirement? I think it was after we looked at an Inter Milan squad for some reason. He came out of international retirement, so he's had a couple of friendlies before this. And now going into a Euros, which is basically how he's come out of his retirement. Impressive. So we've got a fairly old midfield with Neves and then Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandez. But Fernandez plays as an advanced playmaker position in the midfield. They're still very, very good. Physically not doing bad at all for someone who's 33. Very solid player now at Inter Milan, having moved there from Man United. And their backups are Vitina. We know him from our time at Villarreal. We signed him recently for £27 million in exchange, having come from Porto. Solid midfield player. He's a backup for us at Villarreal and he's a backup for us here at Portugal, but I just thought I'm happy to bring him along because I know how good he can be and he can cover all 3 midfield positions. And a man who'll probably feel a little bit hard done to is Matthias Nunes here. He was the starting midfielder alongside Bernardo Silva before we brought back Bruno Fernandez, so Nunes got us here to the Euros in 2028 in Italy. But he's not going to get to play for us, or certainly not start for us, because Bruno Fernandez has returned. He's been at Newcastle for a long time. He moved there at the start of the save. £51 million he paid for him from Sporting. He's been there ever since, a kind of stalwart at the side. A nice, well-rounded, solid midfield player. Just unfortunate that he's now going to be a backup for us. And the attacking 3 positions, the 2 wingers and the striker, can be covered by 6 players we have in the squad, and they are all very, very exciting. Francisco Trincao, I think, is going to be our first choice right winger, currently playing for Barcelona, 41 caps at the age of 28. He's been there for a while, having moved from Braga. We've seen him at Wolves in real life. on loan, but now he's at Barcelona, has been there, and you can see solid performances for many a season. A very nice, exciting player to play in the wide areas. Another one who's going to be playing in the wide left area for us is Raphael Liao here, currently at AC Milan, has been there since his transfer from Lille. He's very, very fast, and he's good dribbling, good first touch and good anticipation, and he's good off the ball. He's a very, very exciting player out in that left wing for us, and that's why we start him out there. And at the moment, our first choice striker is Gonçalo Ramos, currently at Leipzig. He was at Benfica, went to Brighton, Leverkusen, and £59 million they paid for him. Got 12 goals and 28 appearances. Been a very, very solid player, has Ramos. Fitness is only 13, which it's not ideal, but he's got 8 goals and 22 appearances for us. But really, he acts there as a pressing forward, and he runs and he harries, and he's got good natural fitness and good stamina for that job. So he really presses and allows the other players like Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandez behind him. He's got Trincao out on one side. He's got Liao on the other one. He acts as a kind of pressure and lets them do all the fancy work. So he's a real hard worker. Maybe doesn't get as many goals as you'd want someone to be as your striker, but he does the hard work, which a lot of the players maybe wouldn't want to do. João Felix probably finds himself hard done to that I don't play him in my team. He's got 89 caps, but he doesn't get to start for me. He could play up front, he could play on either side, but I don't play him. And he's been at Manchester City, having been signed for £143 million. You'd imagine he probably would start. But no, not in my team. Maybe I'm crazy, but he competes for the position out on that right wing with Trincao, and I've been giving it to Trincao recently. Another option who could play in either wing, but we give him as a backup left wing option, is Joelson Fernandez here. Again, very nice physical stats, good dribbling, good crossing. Gets down the line, crosses the ball in, see what happens in the middle. Plays for Bayer Leverkusen, has been there since he moved from Crystal Palace, which is where he went to after he'd been at Sporting. And the final player in our squad is Diogo Giotta. Can play anywhere across those front three positions. Very, very solid indeed. 81 caps, now 31 years of age. He's just moved to AC Milan for £51 million this season just gone, having been at Liverpool for as long as he had. Solid player. It's a good squad we have, and I'd say we're one of the favourites. We're currently ranked 6th in the world. I lie, we've just dropped down one place in the rankings. We're currently ranked 7th in the world. You can see the teams above us: England, France, Spain, Italy, Belgium. A lot of them are European sides, so it's actually going to be a very close competition, I think, between the elite European sides here at the Euros. Let's see how we get on. We're playing our first game up against Romania, and I'll show you the team for that one. So here it is: Costa in goal, Diaz and Inacio at the back, Dallo and Mendes either side of them, Neves, Silva and Fernandez in midfield, Trincao, Liao and Ramos the front three. The bench is very, very exciting as well. We've got a good squad. Look at all those 4-star and 4.5-star players there. We should win this game comfortably. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed on the left-hand side, we're still Villarreal manager. We haven't resigned like we did at the end of the season with Roma the last time we'd been successful and won all the competition we needed to in a country. I'm going to wait until after the Euros. I feel as if there'll be teams that sack their manager. Managers might move from clubs to international management, and there'll be some big teams that might become available to take on those roles. As we come down the right hand side, the ball's cleared away by Romania. Currently the only big roles that are available are both the Milan sides, and frustratingly, obviously, we've already done everything we needed to in Italy, so I probably don't want to go to either Inter or AC, but you never know, I might have to go for something like a Champions League. Who knows? The other teams are like Burnley, who have just been relegated, and Brest, I think, in France. Also Nice, but they finish in 14th in Ligue 1. I think I'm going to wait for a job that's slightly better than those ones before I do anything crazy like leaving Villarreal at this moment in time. But we do have a chance here. We've had several chances, in fact, and they have been all headed straight to the goalkeeper, who's actually our goalkeeper at Villarreal. Well, one of our goalkeepers. He's been out on loan at PAOK this season. But he's a young goalkeeper signed for about £12 million and sent him out on loan. The young Romanian goalkeeper. We actually have quite a few Romanian folk in our squad. I don't know how many of them are playing today. The ball swung in there and it's headed away by Mendes. And Marin has it. And I'm not going to try and pronounce that man's name, but they go down the left-hand side of Romania. Could they get an early goal? No, we've headed that one away. The ball's over the top to Popescu, and it's a good save from the goalkeeper. Costa with a great save there. It's actually been a very even game if you look at the number of shots on target. We've had most of the shots on target, I should say, but it's been very even in terms of the number of shots, the possession, etc. And actually, Romania have a higher expected goals. Here we go, corner kick for ourselves. Bruno swings it into the front post and Ignacio heads that one in. And that puts us 1-0 up here just before half time. An ideal time to score a goal just before half time. You can see typical corner tactic into the front post. Centre backs are there and Ignacio heads that one in. And we go top of our group. Spain playing against Wales later on today. As Trincao has the ball here. Can we get ourselves 2 goals, one after the other? Ramos tried to run onto that, but Ferraru in the goal there is able to collect it and clear the ball away, but Ruben Diaz will bring that down. And the ball goes all the way back to him. Now what are we going to do? He finds Neves, forward to Silva, he's in loads of space. Bruno Fernandez plays the ball toward Liao, the defender missed the interception there. Liao ball in, it's clear away. But we will recycle the play as Dalot has it back to Neves. And Dalot, and it will go back to Ruben Diaz, forward to Bruno Fernandez. And Leal finds Mendes on the overlap. Can he get the ball into the middle? He does, and Ramos tucks it. And I was mentioning that Ramos didn't score as many goals as maybe he should have. But he scored one there. A good poacher's finish. And we're up 2-0 just before half time. I'd say we probably deserve that 2-goal lead. And the fact that we were comfortably leading in this game is a very positive sign indeed. If we beat Romania comfortably, we've got a tough game against Spain at the start of the next episode, and then we have a game against Wales. So if we win 2 of those, we're definitely through. And look at that, total domination in the game. I was saying it was fairly even, but since I said that, Romania haven't been in the game at all. You can see the expected goals followed that same thing, and they just kind of flatlined for a bit. So we lead 2-0 here, and we'll see if we can make it 3, maybe even 4. But we have lost the ball after that throw-in on the left-hand side, and it goes back to the Romanian defence. The ball launched long. It's very unusual for me to be seeing a team playing in yellow and it not being me. Because obviously I've been at Villarreal for so long. But Neves has it. Finds Fernandez in loads of space. Leao has it. Can he get past the keeper? He puts it into the middle and Ramos scores 2. He must have been listening to me saying he hasn't been scoring goals for me. Because he's got himself 2 goals in the space of 7 minutes there. Very dangerous down that left-hand side. Normally with Villarreal we're so good down the right-hand side. But here it's the left-hand side we've been dangerous with. And Leao has that. Plays it in to Ramos, who's unmarked in the middle. And he tucks that in, and we lead 3-0. Man's just come on up front for Romania is Adrian Ilie. Remember, we have him at Villarreal. He's a striker who can also play in the midfield as well. 19 years of age. If anyone was going to score against me, I think I'd be happy. If it was him, I would take that. Let's see, 20 minutes ago, we should probably make some changes. We'll keep Trincao and Leao on because we can just rotate them properly for the next game. But we'll take off Silva, bring on Vitina and Nunes for Fernandez in the midfield. And I know we'll take off Neves as well. Just a complete change to the midfield 3. We've got such good talent in the attacking areas. I don't mind if we run them into the ground. You know, we're able to just swap them out for other players in the next game. But the midfield, it feels as if it's a little bit of a drop down from our first choice 3 to our second choice 3. So I want to keep them as fresh as we can. And Nunes plays it to Ramos, who is in course for a hat-trick if he can get one. Trincao finds Ramos. Can he get his hat-trick? He can indeed. And Ramos scores 3. And it's a hat-trick for him. 4-0 for us. They're checking for offside, however. Is it going to be given as offside? No, it is not. It's going to be given as a goal. And Ramos has got himself a hat-trick. He must have been listening after I told him he wasn't scoring enough goals. He scored 3 today and we lead 4-0. A good finish into that bottom corner. Trincao with the assist. Wonderful. 4-0 we lead here. That's going to be a very, very positive result for us. And even if we lost our other 2 games, I think goal difference wise, it'd probably be enough for us to qualify in 3rd place. Assuming obviously those defeats aren't really, really bad. But I'm not going to talk about that as we've got some messages here for Villarreal. Let's not worry about that. There's people I'm looking to offer £5 million for a player who's, I mean, look, he's not that good. I don't actually know if I'm going to offer him a contract. Just other people were offering bids for him. Leicester, £5 million. Is he worth £5 million? Probably not. I'm probably not going to offer a contract. But anyway, let's not worry about that. We're on Portugal duty at the moment. We'll come back in the next episode for the games against Spain and Wales. A very impressive 4-0 victory here against Romania and a little introduction to the squad. So if you have enjoyed this one, looking forward to seeing how we get on at the Euros. Please do leave a like on the video. It really does help us out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until the next one, which will be those games against Spain and Wales to see if we get out this group. We'll see you then.